The first reason I quit Amazon FBA is because it cost me over $26,000 to start my Amazon business. There are two other big reasons why I quit Amazon. I'll reveal my 3 big reasons why I quit in just a second. But the first cost I had in setting up my business was paying $595 for Helium-10 so I could find my product. After that, I paid another $529 for my package design using Canva. I spent $300 registering my business and over $440 on the trademark. The next step to selling on Amazon is to get barcodes, and I spent about $70 on that. Then the $39.99 on the Amazon seller account fee. Then I found a manufacturer using Alibaba and spent $750 on samples. Once I received and approved the samples, I spent $4,800 to manufacture my product and another $600 on shipping, and then $1,500 for photos of my product. So in total, I spent over $9,624 to start my Amazon FBA business. And that's not including over $10,000 worth of mistakes. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how much it cost me to start my Amazon business, as well as step-by-step how I created this business, and step-by-step how I lost it. I'll even share what my product is, and at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you the top 3 mistakes I made that you need to avoid if you don't want your Amazon business to go bankrupt like mine did. Now I'm going to share with you what my product is and step-by-step how I started my Amazon FBA business. My name is Cynthia, and for 20 years, I was a marketer for big technology startups. But a few years ago, I was starting to get drained from the everyday grind. I wanted more free time, but I still needed to make money. I just didn't want to work 9 to 5 anymore. I wanted to make my own money on my own time. And for as long as I can remember, I always wanted to start my own business. So in my free time from work, I found this YouTuber and Amazon seller named Travis, who teaches you every single thing you need to know to sell on Amazon. It was the moment that I needed to understand that I could actually do this myself. I decided to build my own Amazon business. I saw that he had an Amazon FBA training program, but I didn't join that. And instead, I just learned from his free videos. And I did find out that 40% of Amazon sellers make over $100,000. And there's 160 million Prime customers in the US alone that go to Amazon to buy products every day. So you can list your product on Amazon to build a passive income business if you take advantage of the Amazon FBA program, which stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. This means Amazon will pick, pack, and ship your products for you, so you can spend time doing whatever you want to do. At least that's what I thought. Make sure to smash that like button, because I'm going to share my massive mistakes that I made that led to my business going bankrupt and to me quitting Amazon. The first step to starting my Amazon business was spending $595 on Helium-10. For Amazon keyword research, I decided to hire an Amazon SEO expert from Upwork. So I hired somebody overseas in India. So it cost me $595 to do my Amazon keyword research because I hired a contractor over in India to do the keyword research for me. In addition, I used Helium-10 to do keyword research. Now, Helium-10 is a research tool that can help you with your keyword research. It costs a lot less money. You don't have to hire somebody from overseas to do your keyword research. You could just use Helium-10. But the key to making money on Amazon is to understand that Amazon is a search engine, and people go to Amazon to search for things that they want to buy. The search terms people type into Amazon are called keywords, and Helium-10 can show you how popular specific keywords are, so you're able to figure out how much customer demand there is for your product. I used Helium-10 and found a lot of people were searching for caftans. So if you want to unlock all of the premium features to help find your new product, there's a link in the description with a discount code for Helium-10. For my design and logo, I spent $529 and I used a designer on Upwork. You can use Fiverr, you could use Upwork, you could also use 99 Designs. And the way 99 Designs works is you submit your design request and then a bunch of designers send you their version of your logo or package, and you just choose one and go from there. The next step was designing the polybag packaging for my product. I spent $529 on designing that specific package. I wanted compostable packaging, and an insert to go inside that package. Let's talk about photos and marketing. I'm a marketer. I knew this was one part of the business I knew very well. I knew that to sell apparel, I needed to have really beautiful photos. So I invested in great photography. You know, I'm based here in LA, and I was lucky enough to get connected with a social media photographer of Kim Kardashian's. I found him on Upwork. He shot all of the product. We shot it in my backyard one afternoon. It was beautiful. We had this great model, and that cost about $1,500. So I actually heard about this company called FBA Creatives that will do all of that hard work for you. Because for me, what happened is I hired somebody to do SEO. I did my own logo through Canva, which took way too long and never was quite right, if I'm really honest with you. I hired another Amazon expert. Maybe they were an expert, I don't know. If you want to not have 3 or 4 different people that you have to oversee and pay out to, just use FBA Creatives. Have it all done under one roof, and you're gonna save a lot of time and a lot of money, and you're gonna work with a group that knows Amazon. If I'd used FBA Creatives and saved some money in the design process and had a better Amazon listing, I might still be running my Amazon business. So don't make the same mistake. There's a link down below. Then I spent about $300 on my LLC. An LLC is a limited liability company. You need to separate your own expenses from your business expenses, and an LLC gives you business protection in case you ever get sued. So I used LegalZoom. It cost about $300. You can also get a DBA for $99 from LegalZoom. DBA means doing business as, and it's a separate business name that you use to operate under for your tax purposes. It's great for marketing and branding, but it doesn't offer any legal protection if you do get sued. Then I had to get my trademarks so I could get brand registry with Amazon. I did a German trademark for $440, and I thought you could get it faster this way, but it's actually the same speed as if you go through the USPTO. And make sure you pay attention, because I'm going to share with you a huge mistake that cost me over $7,000. If I'm honest, that's a big part of why I quit Amazon. So the next step to creating my product was manufacturing the product. And here is where I made a big mistake. My first production run, like Travis talks about in his YouTube videos, when you're first looking for your product, you go to Alibaba. I went looking all through Alibaba, and I tried to use a Chinese manufacturer. I couldn't find cotton, and even now when you go on Amazon and you search for cotton clothing, it's really hard to find. So I decided to use a factory in India, and they have Amazon textiles industry with high quality products. I got test samples from 4 different factories, which cost about $750. I settled with 2 manufacturers to create a total of 7 products. The reason I went with the first manufacturer was because of their supposed flexibility. They claimed they worked with designer brands, and they worked on Amazon, and they had factories all over India. But as I'm going to reveal more about later in the video, this was not the truth. I had to work with the second manufacturer because of their product quality of the first manufacturer. That mistake cost me $7,800. After producing the actual product and the packaging, there was also QA testing, which cost $750. And I had to bring in a sourcer that then went to the factories with the QA testers and made sure unit by unit everything was okay, which it wasn't. So the $750 was actually money well spent, but it took 2 days to go through piece by piece, 2 different manufacturers, all of the product. So then for the second manufacturer, I spent $4,800. Then the packaging was $650, QA testing was $750, and that was covered for both factories, the first and second factory. That was money well spent. They had to go through them unit by unit, and they did find a lot of QA issues, so got all of that sorted. But as you're gonna see at the end of this video, after I gave them my money, my second manufacturer got very sketchy. Because I'm in LA and my manufacturer is in India, I decided to hire a sourcer. this saved me a lot of money in the end, but it did cost me $22.99. You know, that might seem like a lot of money that's not going into production or manufacturing, but investing in a sourcer if you're working in India is absolutely critical, because the relationships and the supply chain dynamics in India are very different than China. In total, I've produced now 1,400 units, and it's cost me a total of $12,600. So my first production run ended up being way more expensive than I thought it would be. Lucky for you, the YouTube coach Travis has an in-depth tutorial that explains how to find the right manufacturer way cheaper, faster, easier in his Amazon FBA course, The Passion Product Formula. The link for that is also down in the description. But I'd found out about that only after I had gotten started on my own, and I'd already spent $19,970, and that was before actually getting the product to Amazon. So at this point, I was really nervous. That's a lot of money, and I wasn't expecting it to cost so much. But I saw Travis on YouTube, and he said that there are 310 million Amazon customers worldwide. 200 million of them are in the US alone. So I knew this was a massive opportunity that was too good to miss, and I just wish I had taken all the right steps. If I had, I might still be in business today instead of needing to shut down my Amazon FBA business. Let's talk about shipping. I wanted my product to get to Amazon as quickly as possible, so I chose air shipping. Air shipping cost about $600, and typically shipping via air is faster, but it's also a lot more expensive. You can absolutely ship via sea on an ocean freight, and it's way cheaper, but it'll take a lot longer to arrive. Then I spent $70 for UPC codes. UPC codes stands for Universal Product Code. It's the barcode on the back of any product you scan at checkout. So I bought 7 UPCs at upcs.com. I also paid $39.99 for the Amazon account fee. An Amazon account fee is what you pay to be able to list and sell your products on Amazon and have access to your Amazon Seller Central account, where you can collect all your reports and all your expenses, profits, sales, etc. But you don't have to pay $39.99 to sell on Amazon, because there's 2 types of accounts. There's the professional seller account and an individual seller account. A professional seller account costs $39.99 a month, and the individual account is free, but you pay Amazon 99 cents per item sold. My goal is to make as much money from selling on Amazon as possible, so I recommend signing up for the professional if you're planning to sell more than 40 units per month. It just makes sense. So now I'm ready to launch. I'm going to share with you how much I made in my first month in just a minute, but there was one final fee. In Travis's videos on YouTube, he talks about needing to build a tribe so you can sell on the first day of your launch. And I actually hired a social media manager from overseas. She set up the brand's Instagram and created content for the launch and grew the following. That cost about $250. Selling resort wear and pool wear, which is what my product is, the social platform had very breezy, relaxed holiday vibes. So in total, I'd spent over $26,524 to start my business, when you include all the mistakes, the freelancers, and consultants. My revenue for the first month was $4,260, but this was revenue and not profits. I sold 146 units, and the cost to build these units was $1,584. Amazon fees were about 15% of my revenue, which came out to be about $684, which is the fee you pay just to sell on the Amazon platform. Next, I also had to pay the Amazon FBA pick and pack fee. FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon, which means Amazon will pick, pack, and ship your product to your customers. This came out to a total of $896. And the last fee I paid was for PPC. That's pay per click, and it came to $3,387, where you can pay to have your listing at the very top of search results when people search for selected keywords or phrases. And you pay a small fee every time someone clicks on your listing. In 1 month, we actually lost over $2,393.03. Now, you might be questioning why I would spend so much that first month on PPC, but this was strategic. I've been a marketer for a long time. You have to pay to play. Amazon is first and foremost a search engine. I knew that I had to overspend in that first month to get higher in rankings. I paid to get the position that I got, but we did make a big mistake with PPC, and I'll get to that in just a minute. My revenue for the second month was $3,552. And again, this is revenue, not profits. I sold 120 units, and the cost to build these units was $1,302. Amazon fees were 15% of that revenue, which came out to about $532. I had to pay the Amazon FBA pick and pack fee, which was a total of $736. And then that PPC again was $1,776. So my net profits were minus $916 in my second month. So we're headed in the right direction now. The one thing that I did learn is you didn't have to rely solely on PPC to get sales. So even though I still lost money, I felt really good because I was cutting my losses by almost 80% and also cutting a ton in marketing. So that was a huge confidence booster. Travis has a lot of tips and tricks for harnessing Amazon PPC in the Amazon FBA course. There's a link in the description. My change going into my third month was to spend even less on PPC and to optimize my entire marketing. This was my best month yet. My revenue was $2,054, and after cutting out all the product cost, Amazon selling fee, FBA fee, PPC, my net profit was minus $522. I learned that you really have to know what you're doing when it comes to PPC. Otherwise, you are just burning cash. That's why I made a big decision later after month 4, 5, and 6, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. So month 4, I made $1,193 in revenue, and my net profits were minus $352. Month 5, I made $1,197 in revenue, and my net profits were $101. Ding, ding, ding. This was my first net positive month. It was so exciting. Month 6, my revenue was $1,263 with a net profit of $45. However, these 3 months were exciting. I was finally getting some profitability, and getting to net positive was huge. And I used Travis's videos a lot to do this. I definitely had some frustration with PPC, and it's where I watched one of Travis's most successful students, a guy by the name of Mina, who optimizes PPC. So I hired Trivium, that's Mina's company, and I hired one of their consultants, and it was such a game changer. Because the truth is, I didn't know enough about PPC to be really spending the kind of money on it that I was. So getting help from some professionals that's all they do all day long is work on PPC, it was a huge help. So the cost for this in total was $2,035 for both his consulting and the recommended software. I installed a program called Scale Insights to help me with keywords and PP spend too. So month 7, I made $2,359 in revenue and $347 in net profits. Month 8, I made $2,960 in revenue and negative $83 in net profits. Month 9, my revenue was $1,937 and I made a net profit of $432. After months 7, 8, and 9, I felt amazing because I was making more profit than I'd ever made. And the reason was seasonality. Again, remember, I'm selling resort wear, pool wear. I didn't have to spend quite as much money on PPC. There was just naturally more traffic and more demand because it was swimsuit season. Month 10, my revenue was $2,131 with a net profit of $592. And for my last month, month 11, I made $2,542 and my net profit was negative $123. Now, even though I had some of the highest sales in months 10 and 11, I ended up being negative because I was starting to get hit with a lot of Amazon storage fees and they were hurting my profit margins big time. Also, I started to increase my PPC spend and it didn't help me make back my money. That's after month 11. I decided to get out of the PPC game and actually close my Amazon business. I could have made so much more money and might still be running my company if I didn't make this huge mistake that I'm going to share with you in just a second. In my first year selling on Amazon, I made $25,451.41 in revenue. But remember, revenue is not profit. After taking out all my expenses, advertising, startup costs, and other fees, I actually ended up losing about $20,000. So right then and there, I knew this business wasn't sustainable. So that's after month 11, I decided to get out of the PPC game and actually close my Amazon business. I really didn't have a choice. I had to quit Amazon FBA. And I could have made so much more money and might still be running the company today if I had avoided these 3 mistakes. So please pay attention. Hopefully your business succeeds on Amazon. My first big mistake was not doing my due diligence. This mistake cost me $2,300. The first manufacturer that I hired in India lied to me. He wasn't even a manufacturer. He was a dress shop owner, and he knew other manufacturers that he worked with in India. So he was acting as a middleman. He was actually posing on Alibaba as a factory, and he is not a factory owner. The actual manufacturer who was making the products were then doing it incorrectly. The second manufacturer who I went with, I later found out, was mistreating workers. My sourcer went to the factory, and when the manager went to go out for tea, he actually interviewed some of the factory workers. The workers said that they hadn't been paid in months, and the guy was just a jerk. And that's why having a sourcer is so important. If you care about the factory conditions of where your products are being made or the process of how things are being produced and sent to Amazon, get a sourcer for India. It's really key. Hire a sourcer who's local to your manufacturer and is familiar with your industry. Just invest the money. In the end, it's going to save you thousands of dollars. My second mistake was not doing PPC research correctly. This mistake cost me $3,000. I thought, based on my experience, that I could learn PPC easily. I thought, oh, I know SEO. I'm a marketer from tech and I've worked in the beauty industry. I was so wrong. Amazon is its own search engine, it's its own animal, keyword phrases, the way it ranks, the algorithm, it's completely different. So not only did I lose money paying for PPC, but also hiring agencies trying to figure out how to fix my mistakes for me. The lesson here, just do your research. Spend the time to learn properly how to use PPC. And Travis has a lot of in-depth information about PPC in his Amazon FBA course. My third mistake, and this was by far my biggest mistake, was not having a mentor. This cost me $20,000 and being conservative. You can find so much free content on YouTube. Travis has free videos. You're investing your money. You need to have somebody that will take you through the steps of doing this correctly. And when you get in-depth guidance on launching on Amazon, an expert is absolutely key. And I know that I should have joined Travis's course now. It would have saved me so much money from the mistakes I made, launching so many products, figuring out how to pick my product. And look, I like fashion, I like apparel. I wasn't super passionate about the specific products that I was selling though. And the Passion Product Formula teaches you how to pick a product you're actually passionate about. Honestly, I know you can be a success. Just join a program like the Passion Product Formula. It'll keep you from making these really costly mistakes. There's a link in the description to join. But if you aren't ready for that yet, Travis has a completely free 8-hour Amazon FBA course you can get by clicking right here.